Hey everybody, it's Elizabeth from Silvernest Homeschooling, mom of 4, and I'm taking you through my behind the scenes curriculum bookshelf where I keep things that I am going to use in the future but have yet to use. And so we have gone through shelf half, 1 and 2, and so we are on this kind of smaller shelf. This is mostly American history. So we have used Guest Hollow American History for part 2. So they have 2 years, and the second year covers the stuff that we really hadn't gone over before. So these are some of the books from that, as well as some other things. So we have the Cartoon History of the United States is from that curriculum. And I don't own all the books from the curriculum. I just bought a couple of them. And then my sister actually used the same program. So she owned the books and lent them to me. And then her kids have actually graduated, all but one, this is her senior year, so they don't need them anymore. So she sold them. I love this one, the Child's Anthology of Poetry. You can tell I've marked it as one that we read and worked on. I do love to use washi tape to mark my books because they don't hurt it, and you can pick specific things and highlight them and that don't fall out. So if you're assigning something at the beginning of the year that you want the kids then to read later on, you can mark them, or you can mark different washi tape for different kids, that kind of thing. I also have a Patriots History of the United States. This is one of the spines that they read for that. So about halfway through this book. And then I think I got this for free. I'm not sure we actually used it. The Patriots History Reader, Essential Documents. Again, I'm back to like really liking to read the original source material from things instead of the modern versions retelling. I like us to be able to take that and talk about it ourselves. All right, so we're also going to do Washington State history. So we have Remembering Washington State, which is a photo book by Dale E. Soden, who was one of my professors in college. And he went and took these photos, and I was able to find this online and use it for last time with my Washington State history class. So I plan to be using that again. Also used this simple shapes. Actually has more information than the cartoon would suggest, and kind of covers some of those like why questions. So we will be using that. We also have the Who HQ, oops, sorry, they fell over again, President's Collection. And so we have used a bit of these Who Was books before. I don't like all of them, but some of them have some interesting information. And again, I like to compare and contrast multiple sources, and so that my kids can kind of sift through what people are saying about different people today, what the original words that they themselves used, or how they would talk about themselves. The Education of Little Tree, The True Story by Forrest Carter. This is about a Cherokee boy. And so we might be using that for our American history. I can't remember if I had one of the kids read that already. Justin Morgan Had a Horse. We like Marguerite Henry. She wrote the Misty of Chincoteague series, a lot of different books about horses. But this one particularly is how the breed of Morgans was actually bred by Justin. There's a movie based on this. And so I plan to use this for American history for either middle school or high school with my last child, who really enjoys this kind of genre. We also have some more Your Story Hours, which I talked about in an earlier book. So our video, The Lady of Long Point. So they'll talk about some actual history stories, and then they'll mix in a couple original pieces. And so they introduce it as if they're your aunt and uncle inviting you in. And then it's a full cast production, sound effects, everything. Very inspiring. Lots of very inspiring story, like this gal rescuing people. Oh, man, she was an amazing woman. More Your Story Hour has got some Abraham Lincoln. And they do resell these. Again, we still like our CDs. So my kids still have CD players, and they really enjoy checking out audiobooks from the library. The Scarlet Letter, this is a graphic novel comic ebook type one. And again, helpful if the kids aren't going to get around to reading the original. It's nice to have something for them to read, but I would prefer the original. So All right, this one has been very helpful. This is the U.S. Constitution and Other American Writings. As you can see, I have some of these tagged. And so when my daughter was doing U.S. history, a lot of the books you can pick and change and move things around. And so if you need to say, hey, this is the curriculum, but it works for me, I get to decide what we're going to read, what we're not going to read, as long as there's the same amount of work involved. And so I picked some things that I wanted her to read. So this one is Letter of Protest from Queen Lelehukolani of Hawaii to the House of Representatives. I also had her read Chief Joseph of the Nez Perce Surrenders. So sad. And then I also had her read the Susan B. Anthony on women's suffrage. And the act establishing Yellowstone National Park. So there's a lot of really great things in here that you could read with your kids and add in throughout the years if you wanted to read them to them. Albert Einstein's letter to the president about the atomic bomb, Harry S. Truman's inaugural address, just so many different, the Social Security Act. So there's just a lot of different actual documents. It can be really helpful for kids, not just to talk and hear about them secondhand, third hand, fourth hand, but actually read the original. All right, we also have this beautiful book, The Native Americans. It's been so sad, chewed on. I got it somewhere secondhand, but it goes through the various tribes. And I have some Native American family members. I am blessed to be part of adoption, and so my biological family was not Native American on that side, but my adopted grandparents, one of them was Choctaw, and the other one, she didn't want to talk about her history, and so we don't know which tribe she was from. But so I find it really fascinating. I use this for Washington State history because then we can study the tribes that are here, and I love all the visuals. Again, we don't read this whole book. I highlight and grab sections of it and try to give an idea of what things were like. All right, some of these belong on the shelf above. So I love to have a stack of holiday books, and specifically Christmas books, winter books. So holiday, I mean, like I have some Valentine's books, etc. And so even though some of them are much younger than my kids would read nowadays, we get our Christmas tree tall enough to put on a big giant trunk so that it goes up extra tall, and one of my daughters does all her school underneath the tree, and then I put a pile of books with her that she's had since she was little, and then we add to them. So The Snowy Day, Ezra Jack Keats. I love this book. I think every person should read this to their kids. And yes, we have used this for 5 in a row, our curriculum where you study one book for 5 days straight for preschool or lower elementary school, and then learn science, math, history, English, all the different subjects from one book. So in this case, we would study snow or the water cycle or winter, and then we would study patterns, collage, and how they made the art. And then maybe we would look up some of the words that maybe the kids didn't understand, or they would write their own story about what it was like to play in the snow the first time, or they would make their own collage painting. So yeah. And let's see what else we have. Boop-a-doo. Oh yes, Harold in the North Pole. I love Harold. He is also one of my favorites. This one is his Christmas, Harold and the Purple Crayon. Highly recommend it. He tells the story as he draws things. There are lots of puns, but as he draws them, they come to life. So yeah, great early reader / preschool book. The Gingerbread Baby, we also put under there. Jan Brett. The gingerbread baby gets away, and they all kind of have adventures trying to catch him. Don't worry, they don't eat him. Oh, yes, I make a advent calendar coloring book with devotionals, and so this is one of my kids' copies that they've used Christmas. I put it under there, and they can work on them. There's 24 Emmett Otter's Jughead Band Christmas, back to the Hobuns. I love them, and if you've followed my other videos, you'll know that I've included some of their Arthur series, and then the Francis series were written by them. So this one is also a Jim Henson Muppet movie. Or not movie, but like short film. And so I wanted to have a copy of that as well. They do still remake that one, thankfully. Christmas Tapestry by Patricia Polacco. I think it's appropriate that my Christmas list has all of my favorite illustrators and storytellers in them. All right, so this should be another advent calendar. And then these are nice little young artists. They're journals, but they also can draw on them. So the top half is empty. These are great for young writers to draw a picture describing what the picture is. If they're trying to do a journal entry, trying to summarize a reading or summarize a thought or a category, if they want to write and make their own story. So this one has some writing in the front, but I kept it because it was a lot empty. Might use it. Probably won't, but you know. There's Real Me and then there's Hope Me. You guys have got a Real Me and a Hope Me in one of yours too. More journals, I think. Oh yes, and then my homeschool planner that I did a review on this not consumed homeschool planner. Ended up using it more as, oh, this is going to fall over, guys. Okay, that might be the last thing I bring down so it doesn't tip. Yeah, I used this more for memories than I did for actual homeschool planning, which is kind of a bummer. But anyway, if you want to read my whole report and sketchbook, I'm pretty sure these are where we've kept our art that the kids have made. This is the hard part, right? Because, you know, they bring stuff home from public school as well. And then deciding how, okay, this one is how I did my lesson plans when I first started teaching. So I would put all the things we were going to read and do on each page. And then we would have what we wanted to get accomplished. And then I would do it by kid. So this was the goal, and then each person. So anyway, if you're interested, I can do a flip through of how I used to do it. I have done a video on how I do it now. If you go back, dig through. I'm sorry, I'm not great at linking things because I'm just a mom. Just trying to make videos, not for money. This is not my hobby. I mean, it's a hobby. It's not a business, not planning to make it a business. I just want to share. Okay, yeah, these are all just notebooks. So that's what's left. I just want to share what we've done and what we've happened after 12 years of homeschooling 4 kids. And I'm on the bottom 2 in middle school, high school. I just want to make sure that the hard work that we've done and learned from is passed on to you or whoever needs it. So hopefully this was helpful. Hope you're having a great day, and we will talk to you soon.